Okay, you're going to respond to this do now question. It's using our academic vocabulary word appear. What television show would you most like to appear on? So you're going to use this sentence frame. The show I would most like to appear on is, you're going to put appear in this first blank. Tell me what show and then tell me why. So that is what you are doing for your do now. I'll give you guys a few minutes to work on that. Remember, the word appear means to be seen or start to exist. That's one of our vocabulary words. All right, so for our agenda today, you guys are going to be working on student application. We're going to go over summary. We're going to do some practice writing a summary over Malala's story since we read that last week. And then you will be finishing off with independent reading. Okay, so remember, thumbs up when you are logged in to the student application. We're going to do a review on summary, a mini lesson. But first, we're going to start off with the Kahoot to see what you guys remember from our lesson from last week. So go ahead and pull up Kahoot, and then I'll pull up the game pen for you. All right, so we're going to go over this again. This is the same slide from the last mini lesson that we did, but we need to go over some of the dynamics of a summary so that you guys will be able to score a little bit better on that Kahoot. So a summary includes the main idea and only important ideas. That was one of the questions on the Kahoot, whether or not you should include all of the details, but you're not. A summary is short, it's brief. You're not going into all of the details because we want that person to actually read the text. Okay, so Omar, read the green line here.
Includes main idea.
Okay, Manasia, read the purple line. You're on mute. Read what it says in purple. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Only important ideas.
All right, Kylie, read what's in orange.
Use keywords in your work.
Okay, so those are some things that you have to remember. It includes the main idea. That's that's the whole gist of the summary. If you're giving a summary of a story that you read, you're going to include the main idea. You're not going to include something that's not important, right? The main idea is what the text is mostly about. Then you're only going to include important ideas, only the relevant details. You don't need to include every detail because at that point, it's not a summary. It's not going to be brief. It's not going to be short. It's going to be too long. Okay. And then you're going to use keywords in your words. You're not giving your opinion, but you are using your own words to paraphrase what you read. This is a summary is basically checking your understanding of what you read. If you're able to write a summary, including the main idea and only the relevant details, that shows that you understand what you read. Okay. So this right here, when you summarize a text, you briefly describe the most important ideas. What do you briefly describe, Quentin? I just said it. When you summarize a text, you briefly describe what?
The main idea.
The most important ideas in your own words. So you're not going to copy from the text line from line. That's not a summary, that's plagiarism. Okay. All right. Omar, read the first bullet.
A summary starts by
Stating.
stating the central idea or what the text is mostly about.
Okay, what does that mean to you?
Uh,
What does that line mean?
like putting the main thing and like the summary, what's it about?
Okay, it says a summary starts by stating the central idea or what the text is mostly about. So what does that mean?
To what the story is about.
That's what the central idea means. But what does it mean when it says a summary starts by stating the central idea? What does that mean? When you start something, what what does that mean?
Use. I don't know.
You don't know what start means?
Yeah, beginning.
Is you have to break the phrase down. So if a summary starts by stating the central idea, where would the main idea be in a summary?
The beginning.
At the beginning. Does everybody get that? Where does this main idea start in a summary, Kylie?
In the beginning.
Quinn, where does the central idea, where is that going to start in a summary? Where we in the beginning, okay? Do not make this difficult. Break the sentence down. If it's using words that you don't understand, you need to use context clues. Okay? So a summary starts by stating the central idea. That means it's going to be in the beginning. All right, Manasia, read the next bullet point.
It supports the central idea with the most important
Relevant. Mhm.
relevant details from the text.
Okay, read it one more time.
It supports the central idea with the most important relevant
Relevant.
relevant details from the text.
Okay, what does that mean to you?
That basically you're adding something in the text that don't really matter in the story.
You're adding it or you're not?
Yeah, you're adding it that really don't even belong in the story.
Okay, so you got it a little backwards, but let's start with it supports the central idea with the most important. So a summary supports the central idea with the most important details. So when we talked about main idea and details, we learned that details support the main idea. So central idea and main idea is the same. That's like the same concept. So a summary supports the central idea. So what does support mean? Who can tell me what does support mean?
To like help something.
It helps. So if I have the central, if my main idea is the weekend is the best part, or I have the most fun on the weekend, okay? I'm telling you a story and I say the main purpose of my story is I have the most fun on the weekend. The most important details is I'm going to tell you why my weekend is fun. I'm supporting why my weekend is fun. Okay, so your central idea, your main idea is always supported by relevant details. I'm not going to tell you if I'm saying the weekend, I have the most fun on the weekend. I'm not going to tell you things that don't support that, right? I'm not going to tell you, well, I had a boring weekend, because does that support my statement that I have the most fun? Am I going to tell you something? Well, I really didn't like having to do laundry this weekend. Does that support me having a does that support me saying I have the most fun over the weekend? No, it doesn't. It's telling you something I don't like. So that's irrelevant. Yes, I did laundry over the weekend, but that's not why, I have the most fun. So the details support, they tell more, they describe, they give more info. Okay. Quinn, read the next one.
It does not include judgments or personal opinions.
Okay, straight facts. We're not talking about, I like this story. I think you should read this story because it's good. No. I'm only including the main idea. I'm only including the details that help support that main idea. And that's it. I'm giving you straight facts. I'm not giving you my opinion. You should read this. No. Okay. That's why you're using your own words. You're not giving your opinion, but you are stating what the subject or what the story was about in your own words. All right, Kylie, read the last one.
It finishes a final thought-provoking detail.
Yeah, so it finishes with a final thought-provoking detail. All right, so we are going to look at this activity here, and you guys we're gonna fill this out together, okay? So we read the story, Malala Yousafzai's amazing journey, and now we're gonna write a summary to check our understanding of what we read, okay? So, like I said, when we're writing a summary, we're showing whether or not we understand what we read. We're showing whether or not we understand the most important ideas and the details of that text, okay? So we will follow the model of this summary. And then, so we're gonna, I might have to go back, but if you guys remember the summary that we looked at for street smarts, how we underlined the idea, we checked for important details, and then we start the thought provoking. We're going to use that format, and we're going to write a summary for Malala's amazing journey. All right, so our central idea or main idea. So this is the most important part of that timeline that we read. Malala Yousafzai has been a strong advocate for girls' education rights despite. So we're gonna have to go back to the text, and I have it below here so that we can flip back and forth through the text, which is a good idea when you're writing a summary. You do want to refer back to the text just so that you can be correct on your details, but you don't want to copy line from line. Okay. So does everybody have their Google Slides pulled up? All right. So we need to figure out how to fill out this last part. So Malala Yousafzai has been a strong advocate. Advocate is one of our vocabulary words for girls' education. That means what? Malala has been a strong advocate for girls' education rights. What does that mean?
Like a leader.
What is she doing as a leader?
Uh, she's trying to get females to go to school. Everybody go to school and stuff.
What is her action? What is she doing to bring awareness to this?
She's fighting for school rights.
Specifically, Omar, what is she doing? And everybody else, you guys can answer this. What is she doing? Is she writing a letter? What is she doing? What did we read about? What did she do here? What did she start to do? An advocate is a person who speaks up, right? They speak out. You guys know your vocabulary words? It will help if you know the definition of words. She's speaking out. Malala has already spoken publicly about the threat to her right to an education and her anger about this. So what is Malala doing as an advocate?
Speaking about her rights.
She's speaking about her rights and how they're being violated. She's publicly speaking about, she wrote a blog, right? As a child, she wrote a blog. All right, so she has been a strong advocate for girls' education's rights despite. What is this? You guys know what despite means? What does despite mean? Someone look it up real quick and tell us what it means. Kylie, are you looking up the word despite? What does it mean? Yes, without being affected. So even though, okay, so Malala has been a strong advocate for girls' rights despite what? What happened to her? What happened to her?
She got shot.
Okay, she got shot by who?
These people who didn't
Do you,
believe in.
do you guys need to go back and read this? Yeah, let's go back and read. It's not enough just to read things once. Sometimes you just don't understand the text just by reading it once. So we're gonna have to go back to this timeline. Good thing I put it on here. We're gonna take turns reading this so that you guys can fill out the summary. All right, I'll start with the first one and then I'll call on the next person to read the next entry. So we're gonna start here because this is background information. That's really unimportant to what we're writing right now. We need to figure out what happened to her. Why is she an advocate? Those are the things that we need to focus on because that's the main idea. That's our central idea. She was an advocate for girls' education's right despite what? We need to figure that out. All right, so why don't you start, Omar? You're going to start at July 2008.
The Taliban,
Taliban. Mm-hmm.
a very strict political group in Pakistan, takes control of the Swat Valley. Taliban leaders do not believe in education for girls. They destroy several girls' schools. Malala's father, I don't know how to say that.
You could just say Malala's father runs her school.
Runs her school. He knows that the
Taliban.
Taliban my pages could close it at any time.
Okay. So the Taliban is a political group in Pakistan. They basically want to run things in Pakistan. All right. All right, Kylie, read the next entry.
The top one,
Yep, January 3rd.
a Taliban leader has announced that all Swat Valley girls' schools will close in January 15, 2009. The British Broadcast Corporation contacts Malala's father. They are looking for a girl to blog about life under the Taliban. With her father's support, Malala has already spoken publicly about the threat to her right to educate in anger about this. She agreed to write the blog. Her first post appears on the BBC website on January 3rd, 2009. Malala later receives death threats from the Taliban.
Okay, so we read in the last entry that the Taliban is a political group that they want to forbid girls from going to school. So if they are showing opposition, which is another vocabulary word, if they are disagreeing with the fact that girls should go to school, and Malala, which is a young girl, is speaking up against or speaking out against it publicly, first of all, in this culture, girls, women, they are seen as they shouldn't speak up, especially against men. So if you have a group of men who are forbidding girls to go to school, and then you have this young girl who's speaking up against that, she's gonna get some type of, you know, threat to her life, right? So we're nearing the part where we're gonna get to our central idea. Despite her being an advocate caused some attention on her life, right? So let's read October 9th. Quentin, read October 9th, 2012.
Malala is riding home from school when two men stopped the bus. One of them had a gun. He asked which girl is Malala and then fired 4 shots, injuring 3 girls. One of the girls is Malala. She is shot in the head and nearly dies. She is rushed to the hospital in the city of Peshawar and then flown to Birmingham,
Mm-hmm.
England for more treatment. News of the attack caused global shock and outrage. While Malala recovers in the hospital, a group of people and organizations from around the world launched the Malala Fund. The primary aim of the fund is to promote girls' education.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back up to this. All right. We've already read some things that describe how she was an advocate. She publicly spoke up against the Taliban. The word despite means that she faced a challenge. So, what was the challenge that she faced being an advocate for girls' education rights? What happened to her?
She got shot.
She was attacked, right? She was attacked for speaking out. She was attacked for her opinions, okay? So that's the main idea of this text. She was a strong advocate for girls' education rights despite being attacked for her opinions. Okay, so I'm going to add this, and you guys need to add this to your Google Slides. Despite being attacked for her opinion, she thought girls should go to school. The Taliban thought differently. All right, so that is the main part of that timeline. Now, the relevant details that we talked about before are going to help support each part of this central idea. So details tell us more. They describe. So we're going to work on one detail together. And then I'm going to have you guys do independent reading because I want you guys to get that done. Then we'll come back to this on Wednesday. Okay, because we still have to do 3 details and you guys have to write the whole thing together. All right, so it starts off with the Taliban closed Malala school because they. So if we go back to the text, remember a summary is short. These are our details that are going to help support our central idea. So let's go back. The Taliban closed Malala school because they what? Why did they close the school?
Because they didn't like girls going to school.
Yeah, they didn't think girls should have an education. They believed that girls did not need to have an education. They didn't want girls to go to school. Okay. We didn't say the exact same thing the text said. We're going to paraphrase it. So the Taliban closed Malala school because they believed what did they believe? You're going to go ahead and fill it out. They believed what? Can you repeat what you said, Quentin?
They believe girls shouldn't go to school.
Right. They believe girls shouldn't have education. Okay, thumbs up when you have that one done. All right, so remember, our relevant details are going to help support, tell more, give more info to this central idea. When we come back on Wednesday, you guys are gonna do 2, 3, and 4. And then you're gonna put it all together so that we can make it a complete summary. All right. We're gonna switch gears to independent reading. So go ahead and log on. If you are ready to take your test, go ahead and do that. I'm giving you guys until Wednesday. Okay. Wednesday is the final deadline for this book quiz. Is everybody clear? So if you have a lot of reading to do, you need to spend some time outside of class. All right, we have what time we get out? We have 17 minutes. Okay. Use this time wisely. Take a quiz. You need to be reading. Do whatever you need to do so that your quiz is completed by Wednesday. Do you guys have any questions? No? All right, so the quiz, when you log on to student application, go ahead and share your screen, Quinn, and then I'll talk you through how to get to the quiz. So get logged on to the Read 180 website. That's where you're going to take the reading book quiz. I don't think you'll be able to get to it from there, but we'll see. You can try. Okay, it does work. For some it works, for some it doesn't. All right, go ahead and click that Read 180. Scroll down to independent reading. Hit go. So which book are you reading? Oh, Percy Jackson. So you see those dots with the circle? Click that, hit more options. And then there's the quiz. Okay, so when you finish reading it, you're going to take the quiz. All right, is everybody clear on where the quizzes are, how to find it, what your task is right now? Okay. All right, so that's just what we're going to be doing for the last week and a half or week and 4 days for before winter break. You guys will have a vocabulary test, a unit test. That book quiz will be due this week, and then we're going to finish out the workshop. So that's what we have planned. So please make sure you guys are on time. Please make sure you stay the whole time until I dismiss you. And if you have any questions about any grades, there are some assignments on Canvas. Just make sure you guys get that completed before the end of the grading period. So there's a prefix assignment on there. There's a context clues assignment. I will reopen it if it's closed before you were able to get to it. Okay, do you guys have any questions about anything? Please stay on top of your work. A lot of you, this class is, this is like your best grade. So I want you guys to make sure you finish out the semester strong. So that means coming to class. If you're having an issue with Zoom, just send me a message on Canvas so that I know that you're having an issue. All right, I don't have anything else. You guys have a good day. Your next class starts at 11:20. All right, bye.